It's 1 week now since we've started our campaigns within 50onRed. So let's take a look at our results and reporting options that we have and how I would change our campaigns to increase our results, to scale up and to get more leads. So I've just logged into 50onRed. This is a startup screen. It shows by default the last 7 days. And for that, it shows each day what your impressions have been, your cost, and your average cost per 1,000 views. So you can see as it goes along for the week how it's changed. It's been pretty steady. A little bit less today because it's around noon today on Wednesday, so we haven't had as many impressions yet today. And of course down here it shows the totals for the last 7 days. I have some other campaigns running. I've had some others, and so this conversions isn't indicative of the 3 campaigns that we've been running. This is our total cost from spend over the last 7 days. And as you scroll down a little bit further, it shows the top campaigns, and you can sort by impressions, conversions, or costs. So these are our 3 campaigns that we were running, and these are the impressions that they received over the course of the week. A little further down the screen here, it does show your top targets. That's your URLs that you've entered into the system. So we can see how a number of them have gotten quite a few impressions, but no conversions. TripAdvisor, House, Redfin, Zip Realty did get 1 conversion. And then here on the side, top creatives, that is your URL for your capture page or your landing page. And so we have 1 creative for each of our campaigns, and it shows we had 1 conversion for our home selling secrets and no conversions for our traveling checklist and our free email series. All right, so I'll scroll back up and let's go and look in our campaigns here. So now I had other campaigns running, like I said, but these are the 3 that we're looking at, and I can choose up here enabled only. So that is our 3 that we had over the course of this week. How many impressions, our average cost per 1,000 views, and there's our cost per impression and our conversions. So we can see that the only conversion we got was in the real estate niche, and yeah, the campaigns, they need a little bit of tweaking, admittedly. We're running at $7 and $8 with no conversions there, and this one was almost $9 with 1 conversion. So obviously the capture page needs a little bit of tweaking. Maybe our target URLs aren't correct for what our lead magnet is. So a little bit of work would need to be done. You would need to optimize this a bit more. As we go in and look at our first campaign, the free email series, this graph here is only for this campaign. So we can see over the course of the week how it's changed, how our green, the impressions, were up some days, our cost, how it varied, and also the cost per 1,000 impressions. So let's scroll down a little bit here, and this is all of our target URLs, of course. And some of them we are being outbid. We're below the smart bid. Not all of them did I choose the smart bid because I didn't want to go as high. Like say this one here, benchmark email, 25 cents. I didn't want to pay 25 cents for an impression because I didn't know how successful that targeted that URL was. So I've left it. And as a result, when I scroll up further down here, I didn't have any impressions for it. Now this isn't very pretty how they have this set up here. It doesn't all fit on my screen. I got to go to the side a little bit. So what you can do for this chart here is you can go to the right hand side here and you can choose what columns you want to see. And I don't want to see conversion value right now. I don't want to see profit. I don't have values for that. So I hit update. So now it all fits nicely on the screen. What I like to do is sort. It's a bit easier to figure things out when you sort. So let's sort by impressions. And so this is again over the last week. And it's only our enabled URLs. So we can see over the last week, Lsoft has 41 impressions and no conversions. Lead Pages has 21, and down they go from there. So none of these had a conversion, but if we go up to the top here again and hit all targets, so we see how in the beginning of the campaigns, Constant Contact, I paused that URL. It's the domain and the keyword, because added up together it was about 140 impressions with no conversions at a cost of almost $4. So I paused that one. It's not targeted enough to our lead magnet, and so it's not right for us. Again, you would want to find more URLs, enter them in, a little bit the whole throw mud at the wall and see what sticks. It's part of the process to see what works, which URLs are right for your campaign. So that's what we see from here. Okay, let's go back to our campaigns. I'm going to just choose enabled only. We go back here. Here were our home selling secrets. Okay, so here we had one conversion. So this was our week. Okay, again, it's, let's see if we can, kind of ugly how you have to scroll to the side here, but it's because we have some really long URLs further down here that it's not fitting on the page. Let's see if I can just move it a little bit. Okay, so let's sort by our impressions. So Redfin is getting pretty high. Let's see here. So no conversions there. Our only conversion comes on the second line there, and that is Zip Realty. Okay. So we've got one conversion out of 72 impressions. We're going to keep an eye on that. That's okay for now. It's under 100 impressions for one conversion. If we get too high, say 150, close to 200 impressions for that one conversion, then from my experience, that's not going to be profitable for us. So we'll keep an eye on that. And yeah, so that's within this week, these impressions. Now again, if we look at all targets, we'll see how, okay, pardon me, you know what, because I'm doing the last 7 days, let's do this month. Because what happened here we go. I could see that the first day I paused Zillow because it was getting so many impressions with no conversions. So Zillow has been paused, house.com has been paused. I paused house.com further down here, the keyword, because it's essentially the same, it is the same website, just a different way of getting there. Instead of using the domain, it's using a keyword, and it wasn't producing leads for us. So those have been paused. And this is now the total for the entire campaign, 82 impressions for Redfin with no leads. So I'm going to be watching that one. Well, I won't be. I'm going to be turning these campaigns off after this. All right, and so as you would go along, the only one that's produced a lead for us is Zip Realty. Well, and that's great. So we may want to adjust our bid to get us up to the smart bid, because it has produced a lead, and then we would see if more leads are coming in, or if there aren't, then we would pause that one as well. Again, here these others haven't had as much traffic, so you would want to scale up the bid a little bit to keep you in the game and get more impressions on those websites, and from that be able to determine whether they are the right URL for your campaign that you are running. Some of these, as we go further down, we've had no impressions, and my bid is still kind of low, only 1 cent. So I'd want to up that bid. Here I could up this bid. Now this bid here, 20 cents, forget it, that's too high. And 5 cents per impression. I don't think I would go all the way to 5 cents, but I would up my bid a little bit to get some traffic from that URL. All right, so that was the real estate home staging campaign. All right, go back to our campaigns. The final one was this traveling one. We'll click on that. We had one conversion there as well. Now, if you want to see where the conversion came from, it's not on the screen right here. I'll hit sort by conversions. Oh, pardon me. You know what has happened then is that it's in a target that we've already paused because it had so many impressions. Sure enough, there it is. TripAdvisor. It had too many impressions, 228 with only one conversion. That's not profitable, so I've paused that. And there was TripAdvisor as the keyword. So really, TripAdvisor between the keyword and the domain had nearly 400 impressions for one conversion, and that's not a great ratio. Sort by our impressions. Travelocity has 62, so we'll keep an eye on that along with these others. Now look at how France.com, how the bidding has gone up. We were at 1.7, so we've increased our bidding there, but over the past week it's now at 9 cents per impression. So there's a bit of a bidding war going on for that URL right now. So these others haven't received any traffic, so we may want to adjust our bidding. For example, this one, it's right now smart bid 6 cents and we're only at 1 cent. We'd want to increase our bid there to get some impressions. Same with these others. Rick Steves, which is funny, we haven't had any impressions there and we're really close to the smart bid, so we'd want to keep up with that smart bid. Whereas some of these others, we're getting quite a few impressions. A way to almost decrease your impressions and yet still be popping up over that URL would be simply by lowering your cost per view. So say Travelocity, we may want to continue popping up over Travelocity but at a lower price, and so we could decrease our cost per view for that URL. Okay, that was looking at the final campaign there. So let's go into reporting a little bit here. Within 50onRed, you can go to Tools and Analysis. They really give you so much data that is available through 50onRed that it's, once you have a number of campaigns and a lot of URLs, it almost becomes a little bit too much. These are all the different sections. Now, of course, campaign, creative, and target, those are pretty self-explanatory how you want to sort. So let's quickly look. Well, let's see here. This is the first one comes up as cost summary, show by day. Let's just hit a report there and we can see. So now remember, I've had other campaigns running, so this isn't simply our 3 campaigns. So this is the whole month so far based on impressions, cost, conversions. Profit is only applicable if you've actually put in a value there. And so we started our campaigns on the 15th and we can see our impressions each day, our conversions. Now this is including my other campaigns along with our cost each day. Here we can go to our campaign summary. We can actually choose which campaign we want to run a report on. So if we said we wanted to for our traveling checklist, I just scroll down and hit that, show it by day. You can break it down however you want it, by hour of day. Let's just keep it at day, generate it. So now each day, this was our traveling checklist and our impressions, our costs, our conversions. Gives the date here. It's sorted by date right now. Creative, of course, is where we entered the URL for our capture page. We only had one creative for each campaign, so the results will be the same as running a report for the campaign. If you had several creatives, you could do a report on that. Now targets, let's choose there, choose our campaign again, say our traveling checklist, hit generate, and this will now be based on our targets for each day. There you can go group by day. Well, if we wanted to group by even the week or the month, because in the week it might split it into 2 already, but let's go by the month. So here we go. Domain and path. Path is our keyword input and domain was simply our domain. Again, our impressions, conversions. Now we could download that. We can get, and this is only showing us URLs that have had any traffic, not the ones that receive no traffic. So there's a lot of options here within the reports. If you're using 50onRed, go in there, play with it a bit. It's the best way to find out how it all works, is simply by experimenting. And otherwise, that concludes our look at 50onRed and its analysis.